Most people spend their whole lives thinking they're smart and never realize they're trapped. In 3 minutes, I'll show you how to escape. You're probably not as sharp as you could be, and that's not an insult, it's a challenge. Because right now, you're leaving intelligence, opportunity, and success on the table without even realizing it. Not because you aren't capable, but because you were never taught how to think. Only what to think. The uncomfortable truth: most people never break out of this mental cage. They live their entire lives mistaking habit for wisdom and emotion for truth. And the worst part is, they feel smart while doing it. Feeling smart is not the same as being smart. If you want to truly be ahead of 90% of the people you meet, you need to learn something most never will. You must become your own mental architect. Here's the trap. Your brain wasn't designed for modern life. It evolved to avoid threats, seek pleasure, and save energy. Not to seek truth. Not to make good decisions. Not to build an extraordinary life. Unless you override your default programming, you're just a sophisticated animal reacting to fear, pleasure, and noise. Ever noticed how one piece of bad news ruins your entire day? Meanwhile, you ignore 99 good things happening at the same time. That's called negativity bias, a glitch in the system. It hijacks your focus and energy and leaves you vulnerable. And unless you catch it, it owns you. Here's an everyday example. Imagine you send a message to someone, and they don't reply immediately. Your brain might instantly jump to "they're mad at me," or "I did something wrong." But in reality, they could be busy, asleep, caught up in something important, or simply forgot. That instant emotional conclusion: bias. And if you don't check it, you end up reacting to a false reality, making wrong decisions based on nothing but a glitch. This kind of fast emotional reaction happens hundreds of times a week without you noticing. And every single one shapes the trajectory of your choices, relationships, and future. Here's what separates thinkers from reactors: pattern breaking. The average person hears information and accepts it. The exceptional person hears information and tests it. The average person feels something and trusts it. The exceptional person feels something and questions it. Let me show you a tool that could rewire your brain faster than you think. It's called lateral thinking. When most people face a problem, they slam into it head-on like a wall. They use more force, more emotion, more noise. They get frustrated, anxious, overwhelmed. Lateral thinkers, they sidestep the wall. They look for invisible doors, hidden ladders, windows they can crawl through, or even ways to make the wall irrelevant altogether. They don't just ask, "How can I solve this?" They ask, "Is this even the right problem to solve?" They zoom out before zooming in. Here's a small habit you can build starting today. When you feel certain about something, pause. Ask yourself, what would it take to prove me wrong? Who benefits from me believing this? Is there a smarter way to look at this? At first it feels unnatural. Your ego will scream. Your emotions will protest. You'll feel uncomfortable, maybe even anxious. But that's the point. The discomfort is the training. It's the sign you're breaking out of automatic mode. You wouldn't trust a muscle that's never been challenged. Why trust a mind that's never been questioned? The reason most people stay stuck is because they confuse comfort with correctness. Their thinking feels easy, so they assume it's right. But easy thinking leads to hard lives. Difficult thinking leads to extraordinary ones. If you want to outsmart 90% of people, you need to develop two traits most never master: intellectual humility, admitting you might be wrong even when you feel right; strategic skepticism, questioning even the things that seem obvious. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need a perfect memory. You need curiosity sharpened into a weapon. You need courage to challenge even your own best ideas. When you walk into a room, don't try to be the loudest. Be the clearest. Be the calmest. Be the one who sees the angles no one else even knows exist. Because when everyone else is locked into the obvious, you'll be moving in dimensions they can't even perceive. And that is how you quietly outsmart, outthink, and outperform almost everyone without them even realizing what's happening. If you start today, if you build the discipline to think differently, to question, to strategize, you won't just beat the odds, you'll redefine them. The next choice is yours. Will you go back to autopilot, blending into the noise? Or will you sharpen your mind into a tool that cuts through it? Choose carefully, because once you see the world clearly, you can never go back.